Welcome to Snetterton. It's round 3 of the 2017 Thundersport GB Championships and the Sparklight Racing Golden Era Supersport. This championship being led by Rob Goodall, who is on pole position for this race, number 5. He's had a good start to the championship so far, but the big news is that Chris Helliwell, champion of last year, not on the grid. He is here this weekend, but he won't be racing. He was 3rd overall in the championship coming into this, so not quite sure exactly what's gone on there, but he is absent. Should still be an interesting race nonetheless, because it's been quite close this series. In the Golden Era Supersport, as we ride with Rob Vickerman on his Yamaha 600, it seems to be the weapon of choice, the Yamaha, at the moment. We've also got the steel frame riders out there to keep an eye on. They score Supersport points overall, but of course steel frame, perhaps a little bit of a disadvantage. That didn't sound good. It wasn't good. Ryder down on the exit there of Chapman on the opening lap, and Ryder is not looking well either. I think that was Ian Kirby on his Yamaha. It sounded like it was something like that was about to happen. That's unfortunate for him. Robert Goodall it is that leads. Now, Robert Goodall, when everything clicks together, is a fast rider in this class. He's won races, but it's about this year putting together the consistent run to fight for a championship. He came into this round just 2 points clear of Adam Darnell, but after an enormous crash. I mean, it was probably one of the biggest I think I've ever seen at Thundersport. Darnell went flying through, and we've got some rain spots here on the camera lens. It's looking a bit dark and grim as they make their way out of the last corner, and the wind's picking up. It's got that feel about it, hasn't it, that it could rain. But yeah, Darnell lost out on points on that one. He's number 63, by the way. You can just see him there in around 6th or 7th. That's Rob Morby on the Racing Lines Yamaha, number 53, a double senior Thundersport 500 champion. Number 4 is Richie Harrison, and since Richie Harrison's jumped from Suzuki to Yamaha, he's looked a whole lot more comfortable. Harrison was 5th coming into this round, but as with a lot of the other Thundersport championships, there are 4 races each weekend, 100 points available. It's a long year. Anything can happen. Pick up those points and it could be yours. And we've had a bit of rain here so far at Snet. It's just got that horrible dull look to it at the moment, this place. Very grey indeed. Number 16 there is Luke McRae. Luke is 6th in the championship. And number 65 there is David Langley, our RAF rider. At the moment, Robert Goodall looking pretty comfortable out front, ahead of Richie Harrison. Then it's McRae, 114 there, just going through as John Wright. He's having a great ride. Adam Darnell making up a place there on number 36. It's good to see Mark Foster, former champion's brother, Carl Foster, out on circuit. It looks like it might be a bit damp over at the final turn, but then over here, shadows and sunshine, so a typical afternoon out at Snetterton, really. But Goodall it is that has the advantage so far, heading towards Montreal corner. There is Richie Harrison in 2nd place on that. I don't know if it's RAP Racing or RAP Racing, P&C Pavers Yamaha. I'm sure Richie will let me know either or. But he's going well there in 2nd place. As I said before, even with Chris Helliwell out of the proceedings, it's pretty close between the top 6 or 7 overall. We ride here with Rob Vickerman onto the back straight. Some great drive there. He won't even need the slipstream, I don't think, or will he yet? Halfway down the straight. This is what slipstream can do for you in the bubble. Pull out. It's just a matter now without breaking the man you're racing there on the right, and that should be job done. The gap is definitely coming down at the front here between Goodall and Richie Harrison. Onto the start finish straight we go. Those rain spots still on the camera lens, but I think that was just from that opening lap. It seems to have all blown away a bit now. Still quite windy. 3rd for Luke McRae. Mentioned before, John Wright, number 114. The leader of the steel frames in this race at the moment, with David Langley there as well. But Goodall, who got off to a decent start, and let's have a look at these lap times quickly, because Richie Harrison's definitely closed a gap. They're down into the mid 116s. We're not on lap record pace, but then it doesn't look too pretty out there, does it? Very windy, very cold. But nice to see that we've got a proper battle on here. Now, does Goodall know that he's got company? He will do in a moment. Around the bomb hole. Then into Coram Curve. There is number 24 just putting a move on John Wright. That's Andy Scanlon. It's unusual actually to see Andy Scanlon out there not on that bright orange Yamaha that we're used to seeing him on. So the Stubble Racing rider, number 24, slightly changed colour scheme for this weekend. There is David Langley, 65, not far behind John Wright in the steel frame competition. Still Robert Goodall that has the advantage, number 5, the rider from Chichester on the BBC Build Racing Yamaha. I don't think you'll find that that's British Broadcasting Corporation. And then Richie Harrison just up behind, number 4 on the Rap Racing P&C Pavers Yamaha. Number 73, further back is Oliver McRae. I can only presume that Oliver and Luke are related in some way, considering they both have the same surname and they're both from Billingshurst. So we'll just have to find out whether it's brother, cousin, father, son, granddad, grandson, you never know. Or both. We are in Snetterton after all. Well, there we go. Well, I'm sure I'll find out through a rather nasty social media message shortly exactly what the relation is there. There is Ian Evans, number 96, our British Army rider from Chepstow, always having some fun with us here at Thundersport as the leaders come round just to put a lap on those guys there. It's Matthew Henson up behind him. That doesn't sound very nice. It's not. That's a massive crash. And that is Adam Darnell. Adam Darnell, who led the championship going into Donington Park. The last 2 times I've seen him race now, he hasn't just crashed. He has launched it. That is a fast place to go down. Looks like he went down quite early as well. Has he clipped a white line or clipped the grass under braking? Very odd to go down at that part of the circuit. But Adam Darnell, well, he's showing you how not to fight for a championship at the moment. I'm afraid the Sparklight Racing rider needs to find some more consistency. That bike might just take some fixing here, because they'll have another race later on, but I'll face a race against time to get that fixed, because it looked a bit of a mess. At the front, still Goodall that leads, and still Richie Harrison content with just sitting there, maybe weighing up his options. Where am I faster than Robert? Where can I pull the move off? There is number 44 and number 16. Well, that number 44 is Matthew Henson. He's being lapped, so Luke McRae there is in 3rd now, as a result, of course, of Darnell chucking it down the road. There's Mark Foster and Rob Morby. Those guys are in 4th and 5th. Richie Harrison pull the pin in a moment. There's a rider sitting up there. Is that Andy Scanlon? That's Andy Scanlon with his arm up in the air. So Andy Scanlon's got a problem as well. The rider that said at the start of this year he would like to fight for the championship. It's not really going his way either. He's 4th in the championship overall. I suppose the only positive for him at the moment, if he does exit this race, is the fact that another contender in Adam Darnell is not here, and neither is Chris Helliwell. But Rob Goodall is. He's leading overall in this race. Here we see Mark Foster just putting a lap there on Liam Vella, or depending on where Liam hails from. If he's Spanish, then it would probably be Liam Vella, but I'm afraid, Liam, when it says that you're from Lincoln here in the programme, I'm going to have to go with the more British option of Vella. The last lap flag is out. Goodall still leads from Richie Harrison. Richie Harrison as yet hasn't really shown Robert Goodall a front wheel. Is he just waiting for that final corner, or is that a bit of a risky strategy? A wide line taken there from Rob Goodall, but Richie Harrison now, well, this is a prime chance. Onto the back straight. Can he get in the slipstream? No, Robert Goodall was so sharp. Onto the Bentley straight there. Rob Morby looks like he's set for a top 5 finish, but can't catch Mark Foster. Luke McRae is sort of wedged between the leaders and these guys, so he's on for 3rd. Richie Harrison, though, is the one we're looking at. Here he comes. Out of Nelson, up towards the bomb hole. Not going to get done there. It won't get done into Coram Curve either. He's got Murray's or a drag to the line. They are his only 2 options. Unless, of course, he's happy with 2nd place. Further back, John Wright and David Langley, they are going for 6th and 7th. They are fighting for steel frame win. Onto the, well, there's nothing showing here. It's all about the drag to the line, and it could be quite close. Richie Harrison into the slipstream. Oh, I tell you what, this could be close. Rob Goodall, checkered flag is out. He sits up a bit at the end. He still hangs on to the win. I'm surprised that we didn't see maybe a little move there from Richie on the final lap. That said, Richie Harrison is looking like a different competitor this year compared to last, and he did put in the fastest lap of the race on the final lap of the race, so he certainly put in as much effort as possible. Goodall takes 25 points, Harrison a solid 2nd, Luke McRae takes 3rd, then it's Mark Foster, Rob Morby, and John Wright was victorious in the end in the steel frame competition. There's your top 3, Goodall, Richie Harrison on the left and McRae on the right, and in the steel frame, John Wright the winner, David Langley 2nd, and Brad Davey in 3rd. Race 2 coming up in just a few moments. Let's see if Adam Darnell get himself back out on circuit. Welcome back. Time for race 2 in the Golden Era Supersports. Rob Goodall, race winner from earlier, lines up on pole position. Luke McRae, 3rd in race 1, 2nd on the grid. Here is Goodall. It's looking very much like he will take a championship lead into Cadwell Park. But 3rd on the grid there on the left, and the white and green is number 4, Richie Harrison, who had one of his better rides, it has to be said, in race 1. What can he offer in race 2? 1-1-4 there. John Wright will be looking for another steel frame victory as he fights with David Langley and co in that steel frame competition. Brad Davey was also on the podium in race 1 on his Ducati number 14. Andy Scanlon has made the grid number 24, but unfortunately after that big crash and heavy fall into turn 1 in race 1, Adam Darnell has not. And so it's odd to look at a Golden Era Supersport race with no Sparklight racing bikes. Chris Helliwell, of course, not racing, and Adam Darnell, well, I would imagine it's more the bike than him that hasn't made it onto the grid after that big crash into Richie's. How much will that cost him in this championship? Well, you'll have to find out at the end of it, but a big opportunity for Rob Goodall to extend the championship lead, because Andy Scanlon just doesn't really look at it here this weekend, sadly. At the front, it is Goodall that has the lead, but Richie Harrison closer than he was in his first effort earlier on. Luke McRae, likewise, number 16 there in 3rd. The 3 Yamahas up towards the bomb hole. In fact, I say 3 Yamahas. There's 5 in the top 5 there as Rob Morby slots into 4th place. Around Coram Curve we go. Harrison put in the fastest lap of the race earlier on at the end of the race as well, and it was a 16.479, but it is later in the day here now at Snetterton, and well, this is race 17 on the programme here at Snet, so there's a lot of racing gone by and the track temperature has dropped, so I'm not expecting to see lap times actually tumble. But let's see what it means to the race. Track temperature is incredibly cool at this moment in time, but it is dry. There is Richie Harrison then, getting himself tucked in. He's got the advantage on Goodall for the first time, and I'm just trying to rack my brains actually to try and remember whether or not, he just manages to keep himself ahead of Robert Goodall, whether Richie Harrison's won a race or not. He's been on the podium plenty. Has he won a race at Golden Era Supersport? If you have, Richie, then I apologise, but I'm pretty sure that if he was to get 25 points here, it would be his first at this level. So it just shows how much of an improvement has been made. He struggled a bit last year He was on the Suzuki. Oh, blimey, that's not the right line. And so a bit of a mistake there whilst leading. That could allow both Rob Goodall and Luke McRae to come through on him on the start-finish straight, running really wide on the exit. He stays on the bike. He does drop to third. Goodall and McRae capitalise. Bit of a commentary curse there on Richie, unfortunately, so I think I'll keep quiet for now and we'll just concentrate on the race we're looking at. Further back there, 74 and 14. 74 is Nick Turner, 14 Brad Davey. Max Woolmott was up ahead of them as well on his Yamaha. Adrian Bridges is out there in and around the action as ever, number 3. So after that error on the exit of Murray's, Harrison demoted to third. Goodall just leading. McRae thought about a nudge up the inside. This is a much better and a more improved result for Luke McRae from what we saw earlier on. It was just the two of them, Goodall and Harrison, in race 1, but McRae part of this now. Rob Morby there in 4th. Would probably be Rob Morby's best finish in the class as well if he was to stay there. I don't recall seeing Rob Morby on the podium since he's moved to the Golden Era Supersport class. Onto the start-finish straight we go, and Richie Harrison has regrouped after that error and now looks to try and get into the slipstream of McRae. Further back there is 73 and 43. That's Oliver McRae, Rob Vickerman. There is Adrian Bridges. He's just up ahead of number 75, Max Wilmot. Into turn 1. Sun peeking out. One last visit here at Snetterton. Oh, we've got a black and orange flag in the background there for a rider. Someone's being told to pull in or pull off at the nearest opportunity. Normally means there's a problem with the bike. There could be something hanging off it, but it's danger to continue, so pull off at the next available. Luckily there's quite a few of those here at Snetterton to do so. At the front of this race though, Golden Era Supersport, all the 3 Yamahas. Same machines, very little difference. Of course, no 2 bikes are ever the same, but on the start-finish straight, it would all be about slipstream between these 3 guys. Goodall won race 1 from Harrison and McRae, and at the moment it's Goodall, McRae and Harrison once more out on circuit as they break into turn 1. Harrison was leading this race, remember, until that moment on the exit of Murray's. Further back we are on board with Rob Vickerman, who's making up a place on his RAF Yamaha. Just losing the place again. He's having a proper battle there. Is Rob Vickerman with Oliver McRae. That's for 10th and 11th overall. And here they are on your screen. Orange bib for Oliver McRae, first full season of racing. And back with your leaders, Goodall, McRae, Harrison. Harrison at the moment, looks like he's got the speed. That was lovely. Nicely done there from Richie Harrison. What I do like about Richie Harrison is that he doesn't do anything too silly when he's overtaking. Okay, he made a mistake earlier in the race, but when it comes to making passes, he normally make sure that they're clean, they're precise, and they're well thought out, and that was there through the old S's, now known as Brundle and Nelson. So he's picked off McRae. Now he gets onto the start-finish straight and gets some decent drive. He's into the slipstream of Rob Goodall. Will he have a look up the inside into turn 1? Will he think better of it? Across the start-finish line they go. He's not close enough this time. Will he do the same to Rob Goodall as he did to Luke McRae in a moment at the end of the back straight? It's all about getting some important drive, or is he going to have a look up the brake? No, he's doing it here. Well, overtaking manoeuvres coming like buses here for Richie Harrison. He says thank you very much, and that's as good a block pass as you're going to see, because he has managed to not only get past Rob Goodall, but he sort of slowed his momentum down, although Goodall's got the drive and he's bounced straight back again on the back straight. So Goodall replies. This is a good race. Richie Harrison with the speed around Brundle up the inside. That line always works because you have the inside line then for Nelson. Rob Goodall surely won't look up the inside into the bomb hole. It can be really iffy to try that one. Goodall is up for this. Around Coram we go. Over the cement dust for Richie Harrison. Further back, this is the scrap for the steel frame. John Wright, David Langley. They are, at the moment, 6th and 7th on circuit. Harrison really aggressive here. Up the inside of a back marker, Ian Evans. That's enough to invite Luke McRae onto the tail now of Rob Goodall, but the way that Harrison has dealt with a bit of traffic here could just help him on to securing what I think is his first win in the Golden Era Supersport class. Richie Harrison, I remind you, was 5th in the championship coming into this weekend and was 38 points behind Rob Goodall. And with a couple of riders missing from this, I rather fancy that Richie Harrison could be inside the top 3 at the end of this if he stays put. Onto the back straight. The best we've seen of Richie Harrison in Thundersport GB. He's raced with us now for what must be 7-8 years. Oh, brilliant move there from Robert Goodall, and he knew that by just running it wide he wouldn't allow Richie Harrison through on the inside, but Harrison is through anyway. Good racing this between Rob and Richie, and Luke McRae is just hovering there. Front row seats for him. Langley's just fallen back a bit. That's Sam Nicholson up behind him, number 2. Sam from Nottingham on his Motorpoint Derby, Yamaha R6, but to the front we go once more. Luke McRae now trying to close onto the tail of Rob Goodall. Good last couple of laps this has been for Richie Harrison. They're doing the low 117s and it's the last lap. There's one lap of Snetterton between Richie Harrison and a win. Oh, excellently done there from Goodall. He goes up the inside into turn 1. McRae wants a piece of the action as well, and Richie Harrison won't give this one up. There isn't any room at the inn down into Montreal, so Harrison's going to have to look somewhere else. Will he try and do it in his favourite overtaking spot into Brundle, I wonder? Will Goodall allow it to happen? And Luke McRae now gets out of the slipstream and pulls in. And look at this up ahead. We've got Brad Davey. He's going to be in for a shock at the moment. Oh, brilliantly done from Richie Harrison. It looked like he was down to 3rd. He's let the brakes off and he has just drifted his Yamaha in. That is an awesome overtaking manoeuvre from Richie Harrison. It was brave as well. I bet his heart stopped for a moment, but I'll tell you what, with a move like that, he deserves to win this one. He's now going around the outside of Brad Davey, and that should be it. I don't think Rob Goodall will have enough here to find his way through. It's just a matter of what happens for 2nd and 3rd. The checkered flag is out. Well, whatever happens, this is the best race we've ever seen from Richie Harrison, and he is in this championship. Superb race in Golden Era Supersport. Not an awful lot of emotion being shown there from Richie Harrison, but I'm sure that he is very happy indeed with that, and he should be. There you go. Now it's got, I think he's just making sure he got over the line, but brilliantly done there from Harrison. Good race against Rob Goodall as well. 3rd for Luke McRae. Rob Morby was 4th, Mark Foster 5th, and John Wright, steel frame winner, in 6th place overall. Top 3 on your screen then. Richie Harrison, delighted with his winner's trophy, and Rob Goodall 2nd, Luke McRae 3rd, and in steel frame, John Wright winner again, ahead of David Langley and Brad Davey. Championship standings, Robert Goodall still leading, but look at that. Richie Harrison has gone from 5th to 2nd. He is in it for 2017. Adam Darnell licking his wounds down now in 3rd place. John Wright leads in the Steelsport ahead of David Langley, Brad Davey, Nick Turner, Ian Evans and Robert Dodd. That's it from Snetterton. We will be back with you in just a few weeks' time at Cadwell Park. Bring on the mountain.